So I have a question for you guys today, a really good question. And I really want you to think about it. If things got so bad with you financially, like the bottom just fell out, you lost your job, or you had to take a pay cut, or your costs went so high that it just was, you felt like you were drowning, would you be willing to deliberately walk away, for those of you who rent, from your apartment to be homeless? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the This Bahamian Gal podcast. I am your host, Rogan. So happy to have you with me on this Friday evening. I hope you guys are doing great. So let's just get right into today's episode because it's a good one. So I came across this video on Instagram. I don't know the content creator's name because it wasn't tagged in the video, but I will tag down below the creator who uploaded the video. If you guys know who it is, please let me know so I can tag the creator. But I thought this was really interesting. I don't even know how I came across this, but I thought it was really interesting. And I just want to jump right into the video, and then I'm going to offer my commentary on it. Let's go.
I'm homeless, and this is how I live rent-free. So I went ahead and cleaned out the storage just so you guys can see the size. I have a 5x5 unit, and with the insurance, it's $71 a month. I got these big blue bags from Amazon. I use about 6 of them, and that's where I keep my clothes and important papers. I'm homeless, and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was kicking my ass. I was paying $2,000 in household bills, and now I pay $20 for my gym membership. When I tell people I'm homeless, they imagine me digging in dumpsters like this looking for food. I chose to be homeless because I'm tired of paying bills and I need to save some money. They didn't want to give me food stamps, so I'm out here living rent-free, eating ribs. I'm homeless, and this is where I sleep. When I left my apartment, I thought I'd be living in my car rent-free. The day I moved out, my car completely shut down, but it was too late to go back. I slept in that car so many nights without air and heat until one day I just couldn't take it. I told my manager I was living in a broke-down car, and now I sleep at work. I'm homeless, and this is where I hide my stuff. My office has a locked cabinet, so I like to keep about a week's worth of stuff so I don't have to go to storage as often. I have a lot of scrubs for work, socks, underwear, and also my iron and ironing pad. Although I don't sleep here, I like to keep extra things I might need in case I run out of something in my gym bag. My cabinet comes with 2 keys, and I do leave one here and take one with me just so I won't lose both, and you do need a key to unlock it. I got this security bar from Amazon, and I keep it on the door just in case I need to change clothes in between jobs or act like I'm in here doing some work. I'm homeless, and this is the shower I use at the gym. I'm homeless, and yes, I'm cleaning my makeup brushes in this bathroom. One thing I hate about being homeless is people don't like when you make the struggle look good. It's a problem if I want to do my hair and makeup, but it's okay if I was living in the streets looking bad. All I know is I'm going to keep making my content, and you keep making sure you pay your rent. I'm homeless, and this is how I date. I shower and get ready at the gym, and then I take my stuff to storage since it's not that far. I Uber to and from the date, even though they usually ask to come and pick me up. I don't mention being homeless until the 2nd or 3rd date, but it hasn't been an issue so far. If you have a problem with me dating, just remember I'm homeless by choice, and unlike you, I don't have any rent to pay. I said I was homeless, never said I was broke. I get my packages sent to a pickup location and go pick it up from there.
She said that she became homeless or whatever or she decided to just be homeless by choice because rent was kicking her butt. And that's something that a lot of people are being talking about. Rents, the rental market is just like crazy. It's just been going up and up and up. If you don't find some landlord or some organization, some complex that would just kind of regulate your rent, a lot of people are just being priced out of a home, or they're being forced to go into undesirable areas just because that's all that they can afford. One of the things that she mentioned too was that people have this expectation that if you're homeless, that you're supposed to look, I suppose, like you're destitute, like you don't have anything going on. I guess some people are just very comfortable with individuals looking like disheveled, unkempt, and then that would let them know, okay, this person is truly homeless. Well, we'd be surprised, or you'd be surprised, of how many people are walking amongst us who are homeless, but you would never know. I worked this was many years ago, in an organization where there was a gentleman who was always, when I say well dressed, he was very clean. He looked great. And he would come and he would do his work. He worked as a security officer. And there was a coworker of mine who he was like really nice, a really nice guy to everybody, just always kind. And it was a former coworker of mine who said, "Hey, Ro, he's homeless." I said, "Did he tell you he was homeless?" And she said, "No, he didn't tell me, but I know he is. I'm watching him. He and his family are always in their car. Everything is filled up to the brim. He will eat out of a tuna can, just like the raw tuna, and he doesn't ask anybody for anything." And so finally somebody asked him if he were indeed homeless, and he said yes, he was. And it was a struggle because he and his wife had kids, and they, the only job that they had was his job, and he worked as a security guard. I don't know about the dating while I'm homeless. I don't know. Like, I know everybody needs love and companionship and that sort of thing, but I personally would feel like I need to get my stuff together before I even go on the market for anybody, because most people, I think, once they hear like someone is homeless, would be like, nah. And I feel like you're limiting who comes into your space when you say you don't have a homestead, you don't have a base, you don't have somewhere that you can go to. Where's your privacy going to come from? She's going to be relegated to just always going over to the guy's place, if she's straight, over to the guy's place. I think that can't be something that's sustainable in the long term. She says that she is homeless by choice. She says also that rent was kicking her butt. So is she homeless by choice? I mean, rent could kick your butt, but you could just keep doing it. But to me, if you take such austere measures, like to live at work and shower at the gym, that sort of thing, then that tells me that you really were in a bad state. So for me, I don't know that you're homeless by choice. I think you're homeless, for me, because you have to be homeless, because you don't have any other choice. I think there's other alternatives that some people just don't want to explore. I know everybody can't just go back home to family members, that sort of thing, but you could go and move in with a roommate. You might have to go to a place that's just not that desirable. A lot of places, even like if you talk about the places in the hood, a lot of those places are expensive too. It depends on what market you're in, what city you live in, but it can be really expensive. And so I guess some people can also leave the state and go somewhere else, but that's a little harder. Because if you don't have a support system, or you don't have a job in the new city and all that stuff, that's really tough. So it's not so easy just saying, okay, I live in New York, so let me just go and move to Montana or something like that. Like, no, that's not really realistic. I don't have a problem with her looking presentable and doing her makeup. Makeup is already purchased, her putting it on. Like, I don't feel the need that she has to walk around sour-faced or long-faced, like, to show that she's destitute or anything like that. But she also says, this is just a confusing video for me, because she says she's homeless by choice, but at the same time, like, you're doing all these things. Either it comes across like she's a user, a bit of a user. I don't know. Let's play this again.
I'm homeless, and this is how I live rent-free. So I went ahead and cleaned out the storage just so you guys can see the size. I have a 5x5 unit, and with the insurance, it's $71 a month. I got these big blue bags from Amazon. I use about 6 of them, and that's where I keep my clothes and important papers. I'm homeless, and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was kicking my ass. I was paying $2,000 in household bills, and now I pay $20 for my gym membership.
I don't feel like any of that is sustainable in the long run. And maybe she's just doing it at this point to catch herself, but that's not sustainable. It's not even safe. I know how it feels to walk through my door and have a space of my own, my own privacy. I have my things laid out how I want it. I don't have to worry about anybody barging through my door. That peace of mind is like priceless. Maybe she's just not willing to like get a roommate or something like that, or move into an area that might not be as desirable. But to me, that's much better than having your stuff all over the place and having to live at work. And I didn't know like a lot of like employers would allow that. I don't know. I guess she said scrubs. So she's like working in a hospital or some sort of medical facility. Like, who allows their employees to do that unless they're really compassionate and saying you could stay here for a while and then get your stuff together. But then that opens the door for everybody else who might be having some difficulties. Like, everybody's going to be living at work. And please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not judging her lifestyle. That's her life. She can do it how she wants to do it, live her life how she wants to live it. I'm just thinking out loud. It's just like, I don't know. And you guys can drop comments down below and tell me, like, do you think this is the better alternative? I would just have to go and live in someone's basement, or I would have to get a roommate, or leave the city I'm in or something like that to hold on to some more money. Sorry if you hear a chopper. I live in DC. It's always damn choppers. You know, another thing that I remember many years ago, I lived in Atlanta. My family and I were moving from our home, and we were downgrading, and we put some stuff in storage. And it wasn't like those old school storage units, like, you know, just like on the outside kind of thing. We got one of those like climate controlled ones, what has like the air condition, that sort of thing. So your stuff isn't like inside the storage peeling up in the heat and all that stuff. And one night we went to get some stuff out of storage, and I heard this sound and I got startled. This is like late at night. And I was like, what the hell is that? I thought it was a rat or something. And I was told that no, it was a guy living in his storage unit. And this was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, and I was so naive back then. I was so naive. I was like, someone's living in there? And they're like, yeah, he lives in there. Now, the people who ran the facility didn't know this, but I guess other people who would come and get their stuff out, they knew that this guy was living inside a storage. And I felt really sorry because I was like, I don't see someone just deliberately, not to say it's impossible, but I don't see someone deliberately saying, you know what, I can have an apartment, or I could just live inside of my storage. I think that comes down to people who are really in a bad state. And it's like, I really just need a roof over my head. And of course, you know, being in a storage space that's climate controlled and is safe, and you know, there's controlled access, that made more sense than, you know, living in your car where anybody could just walk up on your car and rob you and hurt you, sexually assault you, you know. So it's really sad. All right, so I want to read some of the comments that people said under this video. It was pretty divided. There were some people who were really brutal, and there were people who were just understanding. Someone said, sis, everybody doesn't need to know your business. This other person said, if you're dating someone and they're cool with you being homeless, they aren't the man for you. That's how I feel. I mean, I know some people are going to be like, well, at least they could see past a circumstance, right? But I just feel like you're limiting your pool as to who will date you, you know, because your stuff isn't together just yet. And sometimes people will take advantage of you too because they know you're homeless. I think most guys who have their stuff together would be like, sis, you know, I like you, I'm attracted to you, but I'm gonna need you to get your stuff together first, you know? Someone says, leave your private life private, sis. Another person said, homeless and hungry, but yet you're sporting beautifully manicured nails. Another person says, we listen and we don't judge because a few people are a paycheck away from being homeless. Everything is going up but the paycheck. I agree with that 100%. I always say that. I've said that a million times on my platform, that so many people are just one paycheck away. Some people are just an illness away. Some people are just a mental decline away from being homeless. If you don't have to look like what you're going through as a person, I'm so impressed. That's true, because you would not have known if you just saw her on the street that she were homeless, because she looks really put together, and I actually applaud her for that. Someone said, I was rooting for her until she said date. Baby, focus on stacking and getting yourself together before being a part of someone else's life. I agree. Another person said, quote of the video, I said I was homeless, never said I was broke. Y'all doing a lot in the comments. Her life, her choice. Yes, her life, her choice, but she also put it on display for the world to see. So people are going to have their opinion about it. I never really understand how, some people get so defensive, like, why y'all saying what you're saying? She put it out there. Well, she's not broke now because she's not paying that overhead and rent. But she herself said that when she was paying $2,000 in rent, it was kicking her butt. So if that were the case, she wouldn't have been able to buy the expensive rib dinners and all that stuff. Rent-free eating ribs, but gotta wait till the gym opens to urinate and defecate. You're taking this foodie thing a little too seriously. It must really smell in that storage space. Wow. Y'all, she is choosing to be homeless. Money isn't her problem. The world price of living keeps going up and our paychecks is the problem. So if she wants to date or make sure she doesn't look like what she's going through, what's the problem with it? Y'all judging her. Most of us are struggling out here. We're just not advertising it like her. Remember, everyone is just a paycheck away from being homeless. Yeah, no, like I said in the beginning too, like I appreciate the fact that she was transparent about what she's going through, because I think a lot of people are dealing with that. I just question, if this is the route to go. And again, it's her life. But, for the other people out there who might be considering doing this, it's not a very stable way to live. I'd rather, again, go and rent somebody's basement or live in an area that's just not that desirable, or get a roommate, or if it's possible to move in with a family member, if it's possible. I don't, assume that everybody can do that. Some people's family is like super far away, but look at those alternatives too, because this is just not sustainable. And personally for me, if I don't feel like I'm in a good place, dating is the last thing on the bucket list, or on the list, I should say. Anyway, drop your comments. I didn't want this to be too long. I thought this was an interesting video. Like I said, if you know the content creator, please let me know who she is so I can tag her properly down below. I do wish her the best. But I hope that, she can get some stability. If she's truly happy, then fine. But I don't know that I would be comfortable in that position, because that's just too, it's just not stable. You're at the mercy of so many people. You're at the mercy of the gym. Because now with them seeing this, they might crack down and say, no, you can't come here to do this. Or, her job might find out. I don't know if they sanctioned it. I know she said that, someone allows her to do it, but somebody up high might say, no, you can't have people living here. And then what? Thanks for listening to the This Bahamian Gal podcast. Don't forget to rate the show and leave us a review. And be sure to follow me on YouTube and Instagram at This Bahamian Gal. Also, we want to hear what you have to say, so weigh in on the conversation by emailing us at beourguest@thisbahamiangal.com. That's beourguest@thisbahamiangal.com. Or by going to our blog, thisbahamiangal.com, and leaving us a voice message. Yes, if you're on desktop, you'll see the leave a voicemail button on the right of the screen. If you're on your smartphone, which I'm sure a lot of you are, you'll see it at the bottom of the screen. We cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.